Hello my YouTube friends. Tonight I am absolutely pleased to make this video for you, and against all odds, I'm not going to talk about these beautiful scores that I did. Actually, this one is it is definitely the best knife I've ever owned or held in my life. But I'm not going to talk about this splendid knife. No, I'm not going to talk neither about this beautiful first Bobterzola that happens to be one of my favorite one with this double action, this beautiful compound grind, very nice action with the thumb disc and a flipper. I will probably and most definitely, sorry, not probably, definitely do a video about those, but for now, for the time being, I figured that, you know, these days the trend in my vids was to talk mainly about custom. You know, art is something, but knife is also has a function, purpose, and that's the main purpose of a knife. So, you know, I just figured that those days I mainly talked about, you know, those customs and the art only. So with those beautiful and splendid knives, I just wanted tonight to do something different. As always, you know, my mind works in a very special way, and talk to you about a user knife. And I chose to talk about a knife that I that I forgot probably to review a while ago when I just got it. That, my friend, is the SPYDERCO Domino, which has to be one of my favorite knives from the production. I just love this knife. You know, it's an in-house. It's not those kind of collaboration. You know, I used to love those collaboration, but you know, the more I go in this kind of collecting thing, the more I like, you know, to have knives from the production in-house, you know, design and custom with custom. I don't know, I really used to like those collaboration with with nice maker, but the more you see them, you know, when I tried, for example, the Manaro collaboration with Volker, it was so wrongly done. So you can't actually, it's a disgrace for the custom knife maker to have his name probably put on a knife that has not such a nice finish. So, you know, again, I tend to prefer now in-house designs like this one, or others for sure. But we are talking here about the Dominos. So let's start with the beginning, which is, as always, I try to get some sense of my videos. So let's start with the beginning, which is the handle. Here we have a nice handle, but actually the scale, this presentation scale side, that was the most controversy, you know, when they issued this knife, when they released the knife. Most of the people, you know, were complaining, and I was one of them, complaining about this shiny, you know, kind of you know, lousy aspect of this carbon fiber, but you know, in time it grew on me. And the important thing is that here, that yes, you have a grip. So as a function knife, since I want to talk about function, not only design, as a function knife, it gives you a very nice grip, and that is something that I, you know, learned to appreciate in time. So carbon fiber on this side, like it or not, it is very functional, believe me. On the other side, it's a frame lock, very nice, as SPYDERCO really does perfectly well. It has this beautiful stone wash here, very nice. As always, also with SPYDERCO, a lot of options for the clips. So it's a tip up carry here, tip down carry for righty, tip up carry for lefty, tip down carry for lefty. I said it and I will say it again. I hate to have those holes on the knife. They spoil when it's a beautiful scale. You know, it can spoil the beauty of the scale. So I'd rather have one option. You know, tip up, tip down. I mean, you choose. I don't care. I've talked about that actually. Yeah. If I had to choose, I would choose a tip up carry for a flipper, because when you take off, I've talked about that already. But you know, very quickly, when you take the knife the knife out of the pocket, it's easier. I mean, it's more natural to be in tip down. But when you have only a thumb opening, whether a thumb hole, thumb disc, whatever, you know, thumb stud, when you take out the knife out of the pocket when it's tip down, it's easier, you know, when you take it down, when you take it off, sorry, to you know, have this action on the thumb hole, because, you know, when it's on tip up, you have to turn the knife in order to open it. So yeah, my preference will go for a tip down thumb opening and tip up for flipper. But again, I would rather go for one option, but not having those holes there. So again, nice frame lock. The clip is not also a feature that is really beautiful. I mean, it's a functional clip, I would say. That's it, you know, nothing crazy, but a functional clip. Now, what do we have here? That is the second flipper ever made by SPYDERCO. The first one was the Southern. And man, you have seen that already because I flipped it twice. The action of the flipper is one of the best flipping action I've ever seen, even in the custom knife world. So for those of you, my friend, who don't own custom and think that, you know, flipping action would be something, you know, from another planet, something that you never experienced, believe me, my friend, if you experience the domino flipping action, you will have a really nice experience about flipper. This is an excellent flipper. You feel a little bit the detent, you know, when you open, when you flip it, but because the detent is very strong, believe me, this won't open by accident by no means whatsoever. So very nice flipping action. Then you have the thumb hole, the Spydey thumb hole, which, you know, the Spydey hole here is very effective. So you can either open it with the thumb here, you can do the index opening, you can do also the reverse. Sorry about that, I lost it because, you know, I'm filming with one hand, so it's always lousy when you do the reverse opening. So reverse opening pretty good also when you don't film with the other hand. Spydey trick. So, you know, all those options I really like. You can really use the Spydey hole, and again, you still have the flipper. So this knife is very versatile, you know, to when you want to open it, you know, a lot of options. So that's a pillar construction. A lot of, actually, a lot of, I don't know if ever you need all those screws, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that there is one too many here, but, you know, it's their design, they do whatever they want. Then what do we have? Yeah, the knife is made in Taichung, Taiwan, if I can get to focus here. As you have probably seen on my other video, this is the factory that I prefer. I mean, they do the best fit and finish, and the quality control is one of the best you will find, if not the best. Actually, I consider Taichung, Taiwan to be the best factory. I mean, better for sure than in Japan. And sorry about you guys, but better than Colorado also. As you can see, it is signed by Eric Glesser. This is the signature of Glesser. The Glesser don't use their signature for nothing. I mean, it's not likely that they sign their knives. Eric, this is the signature, and Sal, when they sign a knife, they vouch for this knife and they consider this knife to have a really special, nice finish. So if they sign a knife in Taichung, Taiwan, that has to be in something. Then the blade steel. Man, is it a nice blade steel. You, my friend, get to enjoy a blade steel, which is the CTH XHP Carpenter steel, one of the best steel out in the market. I mean, for a production knife, you have here one of the I mean, all the maker, if you want to use a really nice steel, they would go for this one for sure. This is a really high-end steel. Love the CTH XHP. Very nice edge retention. Love this steel. Then here you have the usual, you know, Spydey here, which is in 3D, something that only Taiwan does. And look at those lines here. I mean, again, you can really somehow compare that to some custom finish somehow. You know, it's a full flat, so that is a very functional blade. and here you see it's very pointy. So very nice for trusting. One of the most excellent slicer you will ever find. Those actually, every time you have a big, nice and flat blade like that, it's an excellent slicer. So this knife has a lot of function, and this is a knife that I absolutely love to carry. You know me now by now. You know that I have custom, but usually, I have 3 knives with me. One in the small pocket, one in the right pocket, which is regularly a knife from the production, and in the left pocket, knife that I use a little bit less, but I like to carry a custom knife. So yeah, this one, as I said, really often in the pocket. The ergos on this knife are just excellent. Look at my big hand. You have here a very compact and light knife, and yet you have the ergos. Look at that. With my big hand, I have a perfect purchase, with my forehand, perfect grip. This here, you have a nice jimping with this ramp, and the grip is perfectly secure, so this won't go anywhere. Yeah, in a combat situation also you can use that. Cutting task here, as usual, the feature that also, I think that SPYDERCO invented that is the half choil that you have here on the handle and the half choil on the blade with jimping, very effective jimping here also. Yeah, I think that I invented that, and man, what a genius, because you spare a lot of room, when you do the half choil here on the blade and half choil on the blade, yes, and on the handle. It allows you to have a full choil, and yet spare a lot of place, a lot of cutting edge here. So yeah, here you have this front choil, and yet here the nice jimping for small cutting task that works perfectly well. A very nice grip also for the small cutting task, and man, do I love to use that for a small cutting task. Then you have your engagement here. It's a frame lock. Your engagement, it is how it is. It's 50%. I'm not sure that the image is good, but it's not sticky. Nothing. I used it, for quite a while now. Not sticky at all. And you have the steel insert, which is a feature that is very nice. Also very nice to have those kind of steel insert on knives from the production. You see, this knife really, it's not inexpensive, but it has so many features that worth every single penny that you're gonna spend on this knife. Every single penny. CTX, XHP, nice flipper, frame lock. I mean, fit and finish is excellent. Love this knife. Everything about it, I love it. Probably less the scale, and I thought about pimping it, but again, these days also I'm trying to avoid those pimping jobs. So either I take a knife from the production, I leave it as it is, or I take a full and real custom. Lanyard hole here, yeah, for those of you who like to put some lanyard on your knife. Yeah, it's a hole. I don't like holes. What more can I say about this knife? Yes, centering, as you can expect with SPYDERCO, is spot on, just spot on. So, my friend, I think that, yeah, I've said what I wanted to say about this knife. This is definitely a user. If you don't have it, just buy it, because this knife will serve you perfectly well in your everyday. That's the ultimate EDC for me. Very light. I don't care about specs as usual, but it's something that you carry and you can forget in your pocket. So it's a real nice value, and a knife that I could recommend to anyone, even for those of you who struggle to put $200 on a knife, which I really can understand. This is an investment, because this knife will, it will serve you well, and yeah, all my recommendation on this knife. So I was very happy to be able to do this video about a production knife tonight. I will come back, to my show of knives anytime soon, but that was my pleasure to talk to you about function tonight. Bye-bye, my friends.